Hello friends, welcome again. As discussed in the last video of module 1, the basic building blocks of object-oriented paradigm are class and object. Again, there is a classical debate about whether the class comes first or the object comes first. In my opinion, object comes first because that is what exists in the reality. Class do not exist in reality. Now the important question is, what do we mean by object? Let's find out in this video. So, what is object? Object is everything that exists in the real world with its own state and behavior. For example, table, chair, pen, mobile, television set, car, etc. Almost anything or everything that is there in the real world is object. Now the question comes, how these things relate to programming? We as a programmer will decide which of these are going to relate or will become a part of software development process. But how do we decide that? The answer is, if a given object possesses following four basic characteristics in the context of given problem domain, then we can consider it as a part of our current software development process. Those characteristics are state, behavior. Understand, these are the two very crucial because without these two, it is not even an object. And then identity and responsibility. Okay, let's discuss them one by one. Now, what is state? State of an object is composed of current values of all of its attributes. These attributes can be static or dynamic. Okay, let's take up an example. Let's talk about a bike object. The attributes of bike object can be color, make, engine power, which is generally measured in cc, average per liter, speed, fuel level, gear position, and so on. So current values of all of these define the state. For an instance, let's say the color is green, make is Bajaj, engine power is 150 cc, standard average is 60 kilometers per liter, speed is right now let's say 0 kilometers per hour, and the fuel level is let's say 5 liters, and the gear position is neutral. This all together is the current state of the bike object. These attributes are divided into static and dynamic attributes. Static are those whose value generally do not change throughout the program execution, and dynamic are those whose value do change based on the behavior of the object. For example, bike can move. Let's consider move is a behavior. If the bike performs move behavior, it automatically results in change in some attributes value such as speed, fuel level, and gear position. So the attributes whose value changes due to some behavior are dynamic attributes. No behavior of a bike can change the values of color, make, engine power, and average. So they are static attributes. Average, we are talking about the average specified by the company in standard operating conditions. Otherwise, it can also be considered as dynamic attribute. Change in value of any of these attributes is termed as change in state. Okay, then what is behavior? Behavior is how an object acts or reacts in terms of its state change and operations performed upon it. For an example, move and apply brake are the behaviors of bike object. Understand it clearly. Until and unless you change the value of gear position, bike cannot move. That means change in state will result in behavior. At the same time, whenever there is a move behavior, it automatically changes the state. That is the value of speed and fuel level. Similarly, apply brake behavior will change the value of speed. So we can say that behavior changes the state and state change causes the behavior. Now the next is identity. Identity is the attribute of an object which uniquely identifies the object from all the other objects. Let's imagine an employee object. The attributes can be employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Now multiple employees can have same name or the same salary but can never have same employee ID. So value of employee ID attribute will uniquely identify one employee from the other employees. Single or group of attributes can be identity of an object. If in case there is no such attribute which can act as identity, a group of attributes can be used to form an identity. For example, in certain companies, there is a possibility that they can have two employees with the same employee ID belonging to the different departments. So in that case, employee ID and employee department will together form an identity. And the final thing is responsibility. Responsibility of an object is the role it serves within the system. See, we have already said that everything that exists in the real world is an object, but we need not to consider each and everything while developing a software. Any entity which has some role to play in solving current problem statement or achieving the needed functionality will only be considered as object in the software development process. Now, let's take up an example and understand all the four characteristics together. Consider a bank account object. Its attributes can be account number, name of the account holder, balance amount in the account, and interest rate applicable for the account. Now, as we know, state is the current values of its attributes. So the state of this bank account object is account number is 3432, name of the account holder is Sam, balance in the account is 25,000, and the interest rate applicable is 3.5%. Now, what can be the behavior of a bank account object? They can be opening an account, closing an account, withdrawal of money from the account, and deposit of money in the account. Now, account number is unique for each and every account holder, so it acts as an identity of the object. And what is the responsibility of bank account object? It is keeping a track of money stored with deposit and withdraw facility. Now I hope the concept of object and its attributes is clear to you. Now here are some of the more examples of objects: person, car, mobile, chair, table, building, headphone, transaction, newspaper, color, photo, television set, and we can go on and on. Remember, only those objects who have some responsibility in the system are considered for the software development. These objects can be tangible, intangible, and conceptual entities. Tangible means something that we can touch, for example, table, chair, pen, etc. Intangible means something that we cannot touch, for example, money in the bank account, shares in the demat account. And conceptual means they represent a concept, for example, shape or bank account. There is a minute difference between intangible and conceptual. See, intangible objects exist, but we cannot touch them. Money exists in the bank account, but we cannot touch it. Whereas conceptual object represents a concept. For example, shape. It is just a concept. Shape cannot exist. But circle, triangle, rectangle, they do exist. Similarly, bank account is also a concept. Bank account does not exist. Saving account, current account, they do exist. Means conceptual object represents what can exist in the reality. We will get into more details of this in the upcoming videos, don't worry about it. So thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time on my video. I hope it was worth, helpful, and knowledgeable for you. If you have liked the video, please press the like button, do share it with your friends, and for more such videos, do subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you will be notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you.